When I first bought this property, this shop was just bare bones. There was not a lick of insulation anywhere. And then after I moved in, well, it was just a disaster. So I spent that whole first winter insulating and cleaning, and I actually managed to turn it into a half-decent workspace. Well, half of it. I still had this whole other half that I was just using for storage. So it's time to get it all cleaned out and turn it into usable space. And my motorcycle's under that. That's right, my motorcycle's under that. But for this video, the main focus is this door. When they first built this shop, they left a spot for a door on that back wall, but nobody ever built one. Well, having a door on the side of the shop would make it so much more convenient. Not even just to get to the house, but to get to the woodshed, to get into the backyard in general, instead of having to go through the front of the shop and through this secondary gate and then all the way back. Oh yeah, that just makes way too much sense. So that's what I'm going to do. The first thing I had to do was actually clean this corner out so I can get to it. And then disconnect the electrical because somebody ran a Tech 90 cable right through the door. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. This was an easy fix. I just disconnected everything and then reinstalled the box on the other side of the door. And then I finished cleaning up. I can't believe I can see that back wall. That's amazing. So now I can start the demo. There will be a door here eventually. Now, I guess in theory I could have left these studs here, but this one was a little soft at the bottom due to some water damage. And the wall studs, or the king studs if you prefer, were 3/8 of an inch out of plumb over the 80 inches that this door will be. So I'm just going to take it down to bare bones and start fresh. There was a time where these Birk bars were my everyday tool. That was way back before I got old and fat. I somehow ended up with this thing over 20 years ago, and I almost go into a full-blown PTSD panic attack every time I look at the thing, but it sure does come in handy. So I finished stripping all the garbage out, and then I started fresh with new stuff. And I feel like I was one of the last holdouts to go to a battery-powered framing nailer. But it's a little heavy. But man, I love this thing. No hose? That's amazing. I'm going to have to get more. Now that the basic frame is done, it's time to get rid of this sill plate. So I had to take the electrical box off because when I beat that 2x4 on the left there into submission and made it all plumb again, I just destroyed the top of it. They built this whole building with these funky 4-inch gun nails, and well, they're stronger than the wood. I'm going to double up the 2x4s, so that's why I took the electrical box off. But I'm going to put the header in first and then drive in a bunch of nails into the header through that 2x4, and then I'll double it up. So it should be strong like Russian woman. Oh yeah, that'll be strong. There was a point in my life where I thought I was going to become an electrician, but I was young and dumb, and I actually enjoyed cleaning up after myself, and, well, they did not like that. And then when I couldn't develop a taste for caviar, that was the last straw. So I moved on. Okay, door frame's done. Header's in. I used 2x12 for the header, just because that's what I had. So, we're good to go. I did the electrical just so that I had light, and now I have power down that wall if I need it. And tomorrow I'll build a door. All right, good night. Much like my old pneumatic nailers that I'm slowly being forced to replace, I'm going to have to break down and get myself a new dado blade set. I've had this Craftsman Excalibur adjustable dado blade for probably 20 years. I mean, it's still okay. It's not as sharp as it used to be, but I'm not as sharp as I used to be either, but I'm still working. And I'll get a new set one day. Hey, before I start this next shot, I don't know how many of you remember when Ryobi tools were blue, but I've had this saw probably 18 or 20 years, and after hundreds of hours of use, it still runs amazing. Mind you, nowadays I do have to kind of keep an eye on the fence, but it's minor. I've had a brand new Milwaukee table saw sitting in a box for probably 3 years now because this saw refuses to die. This was such a great product. You can't say that about a lot of things nowadays. Now, I've said this in a few videos. I absolutely love this drywall rasp to clean these pockets up, and it just leaves the perfect finish. So that's what I'm doing now. I have everything cut. I'm gonna clean stuff up.
3,000 whoop-hoos later.
Everything looks good. These are all nice and flush, and it's ready for glue. If you're wondering, I decided to throw in these extra two just because I want this thing to be a really nice strong door. One probably would have done it in the middle, but more is more. So it's kind of looking like rain from that way. It's nice that way. So I'm not going to take a chance. I'm going to take this in the shop and I'll glue it up on the table in there and leave it overnight. All right, I'll see you on the inside. Okay, it's the next day, and I let it sit overnight. I threw this level on and tried to shim it up and level it as much as possible. I don't want to come in and have a twisty door. So now I'm just going to clean up all the rough edges, and just going to go over it and clean it up a bit. So there was just a couple of high spots where the rails meet the stiles, so I set the planer to 1/64 and just smoothed those out. And then when I went out to the back shed to grab the orbital sander, I saw the belt sander sitting there, and I thought, I've forgotten how much I love this thing. So I grabbed that and smoothed everything else out. This thing's great, but it sure chews up the batteries. That's a 6 amp hour battery, and I probably only got about 15 minutes of runtime with it. But not knocking that belt sander at all. It does a great job. And then when I was finished with the belt sander, I just used the orbital sander to knock off any sharp edges. Probably overkill. Now the eagle eye amongst you may notice that the rail that I have my hand on is a different color. That's because it's cedar. I had a little piece of cedar. I decided to put it at the bottom, just to help fight any moisture that may be down there. Okay, I'm just doing a test fit here, and we're good. It's probably 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Can't ask for anything better. Yeah, it's good. All right, moving on. What am I going to do now? I guess I'm just going to cut the plywood now. Okay, 1 3/4 deck screws. Alrighty. The door itself is done as far as I can go right now. I put 147 screws in it. Overkill. Exactly. So now all I have to do is open up that opening. So let's see how this will work out. I'm not sure if I should throw my whole body into it, or I'm pretty old. Maybe a foot. That wasn't bad. Wow, it's actually starting to look like a door. And I would say the test fit was successful. Okay, it's another day. I have my tool of choice for today. Now I've taken off the 2x4s that I had this thing blocked in with. I marked where I wanted the hinges. Let's just go to town. So I'm not going to show this whole process because it was long and arduous and profanity laced. Turns out that after I routed all the pockets for the hinges, mounted the door, it was hitting by like, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch or so. I was so mad. So I had to take the door off, rerouter all the pockets. And I know what you're thinking. Well, you must not have double checked. Well, here's the footage of before I even started the door, double checking on a piece of scrap 2x4. And listen to what I say. Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's right, I thought it was perfect. Where I come from, I would hear about a colossal screw up like that for a week. So, yeah, you have every right to roast me in the comments about that. So, as my punishment, I forced myself to paint this thing. And actually, before I started painting, I grabbed this 1x2 and nailed it on for a doorstop. And then I adjusted the hinges. I like using these spring-loaded hinges because I don't like closing doors. So they do it for me. So there we go. Now I have a door on the side of my shop. But it's not just a door. It's freedom. So that's it for this video. I want to thank you for sticking it out till the end, and I still have the inside to do, so come on back and check on my progress. Thanks for watching.